All right, can you guys hear me now? Got it. No, I just had my microphone. I didn't put it on. Just kind of running rampant today. How's it going, guys? All right, I'm going to see the chat over on Facebook. Mute. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, how's everybody doing today? I'm going to do another, I figured I'd do one more, maybe two more, but at least one more Halloween thing, because it was so fun last week. I think you guys had a lot of fun. Yep, Craig, it's coming. YouTube's a little slow. It's coming. Okay. Thanks, guys. Welcome to the channel, the Pixelogic channel, Twitch stream, Facebook, wherever you're watching today. I appreciate you joining me today. I'm thinking about making a witch. What do you think about that? To join our vampire and our Frankenstein's monster. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a female witch. Again, I'm gonna kind of just shoot from the hip and go with my own design, sort of. I have some reference off on another screen, a bunch of reference, and I'm just gonna kind of wing it. So, yeah, let's do it. Hey, everybody. Thank you for saying hello. I appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Now, once again, Facebook chat is being kind of strange. I have to go look over on Facebook to see my Facebook chat. So I'm going to put it right over here. Sorry, let me arrange it so I can see it better. Otherwise, I'll miss it. Okay. There we go. All right. All right, let's do a witch. Let's do a witch's face. Okay, got my handy dandy pen. We're ready to go. All right. Let's turn off this ruler and just get rocking. All right, I'm going to subdivide this sphere once. And we're just going to start pushing this stuff in, adding more geometry. You know the drill. We do it all the time. Hey, Eric, on your lunch break at work? Nice. Yeah, Eric, get it done. That's for sure. Make sure symmetry's on. Okay, this is going to be a fun one because I'm going to make her with her mouth wide open and cackling like a witch. You know, like witches do. I'm trying to decide if I even want to do a lower part of the face. I might just push it through. Hey, Andre, quick question for you Cintiq users. How do you clean your screen? Do you just use water? I actually use kind of this, I actually use glasses cleaner. You can get it at, if you have Costco in your area. I don't know. Those of you not in the US might not have Costco, but basically it's just those little spray bottles that you get to clean your glasses. That's what I use. I just spray it on here. Clean it up. Okay, I think I'm just gonna start with this sphere and just start working it. And just start pushing the mouth in. I'm gonna try something different today. Instead of doing an extrusion and pushing the mouth in, I'm just gonna push it in. Just like, you know, push it in. Like this. Okay, because I've done it before and it works pretty good. Essentially, Zremesher, it really likes to follow contours. So it likes to follow peaks and valleys, which is really cool. Hey, over on Facebook, how you guys doing? Thanks for joining me today. And, you know, witches always have that crazy chin. So I'm going to bring that chin out. Am I doing the entire body? No, I'm just going to do a bust. I like to keep these little fun Halloween sculpts in just something I can do in one stream. This looks like a big lip. So I'll pull out the chin. And then I'm gonna bring it up here to make the jawline. Looks like a beard right now. Let's turn this intensity down. Right? Stick some eyes, paint it green. Done. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Okay, so this is the fun part about Zremesher, right? So you can see that I totally messed up my, the polygons are being stretched all over the place, right? Let me push some eye cavities in before I do this. Okay, doesn't have a forehead. Bearded witch. Probably exists somewhere. Okay. Looks like a screaming man. And I'm going to push the head in like this. And we'll put the ear in there somewhere. We'll have a big giant hat and all that stuff. It'll be good times. Okay. Sorry, I started a little late today. We're trying to figure out this chat stuff isn't supporting Facebook anymore because of Facebook's new algorithm stuff, so it's being really weird. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna I might just keep her nose separate today. I'm trying to decide. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Oh, Mad Balls. I remember those things. All right. Okay. From Thailand. Hello and welcome from Thailand and India. Hey, Shaswata, how you doing? Okay, let's see. So when I get it to this point, what I can do is I can Zremesh it. And what I like to use the Zremesher. Well, it's called Remesh by Zremesher, which is inside the gizmo. So I'm going to click on this little gear, hit Remesh by Zremesh, and I got to make sure I pull this red cone out. That's just symmetry across X. Then what I can do is just pull this cone to about 1,000 and just let go. And there you go. Just does something like that. Okay, and then when I'm done, if I like it, I'm liking that density. So when I'm done, I just click here and say accept. Then just keep going. Easy peasy. But the problem is it turns symmetry off for some reason. Every time you do something like that, like Remesh by Zremesh, it'll turn symmetry off. So you have to remind yourself to turn it back on. From Tunisia? I'm not sure I know where that is, to be perfectly honest. Where is that? From Iran. Hello. Too early for questions? It's never too early for questions. Is it a bad idea to drill holes through the shape before Zremesher Dynamesh stage? Oh, you can do it whenever you want. You can do it whenever you want, Lucky. Yeah. Honestly. But you can see how Zremesher now reflowed that geometry around the mouth, which is really nice. Okay. So now that we have that flow, I want to make a nose. And you can do it, you can kind of do this Zremesher workflow anytime you want, meaning you can Zremesh whenever you want. You don't have to do it in the beginning. I need this. Okay, let's see. Sorry, let me focus here for a second. I don't know why that's coming in on an angle. Okay, we'll just do it like this. Pinocchio Nose. Why does hair take forever? That's like the question of the year, right? Why does it take forever? It just does. Hair is a pain. It is a pain in the butt. All right, let's set that nose down in there. I'm doing fine, thank you very much. It's a lot of fun. Hair can be a lot of fun, especially when you get into the flow of it and you're kind of like, you figure out how it's going to flow around the head and it just starts, eventually it'll start to, well, hopefully, eventually it'll start to look good. I want a crook on her nose. Like very, very bent shape. Not pointy like the vampire from last week. Can you use Sculptress Pro instead of Remesher? You can, but Sculptress Pro is kind of it's kind of for different purposes. It's for it dynamically tessellates your mesh. So it's basically going to make everything into triangles as you go. And I may turn on Sculpt Pro, but in the beginning I usually keep it turned off because I like to keep my mesh low so I can control it. Okay, let's put some nostrils on here. We'll just get a little sphere. Okay. Thanks, Nerdy Drow. I appreciate it. I like these hats. I call them my old man hats because they're like typically seen on old guys. And now that I'm a grandpa, wearing my old man's hat. Although I was wearing it before I was a grandpa, but don't tell anybody. Okay. There we go. What's a stylized character? I'm making a witch for Halloween. Yes, Tim Dan. Yeah, Tim Dan. Sorry. Sometimes I get hung up on people's names. Yeah, this is pretty standard for me. This is what I do every single time, and this is what I teach during my course. So I teach this blockout method. It kind of started for me back when I used to be an animator. Well, I guess I kind of still am. I just haven't animated for a while. And I used to study Preston Blair books, and he is also a character designer, or he was, an old Disney, Hanna-Barbera character designer, and he would say, this is how you make characters, and he would draw characters out of big primitive shapes. Okay, so now I'm just kind of getting the eyeballs in there just so I can kind of get an idea of how I want them to fit in there. And then I want to separate, this is what I always do, I separate the eyeballs out. I don't want them as part of this mesh. So while they're still masked off, looks like my custom menu isn't working, so restore custom menu. If your custom menu, like this pop-up menu, is ever not working, just go up here to preferences and say go to config and hit restore custom UI, and it will make it work again. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm missing all of these things. Hey Chris, you have core? You've been making characters like Darkwing Duck? Nah, awesome. Would it benefit you to upgrade full ZBrush? Yes, because there are several things that will help you keep your mesh clean, and one of those being Zremesher. Zremesher is my go-to tool for everything, pretty much. Okay, so somebody asked, how long have I been using ZBrush? Probably 7 years now? 7 or 8 years, something like that. Okay, so now that my menu works, I can hit split to unmask points, and it will pop these eyeballs in their own subtool. And now I can continue working on the face without touching the eyeballs. Okay. And let's move these around. Oh, you're watching my intro videos? I used to have the books, the Preston Blair books that were really big and very thin. They were huge, but they were very thin format books. You get them from the art store. So now that I have these eyeballs in place, I can start to move these eye sockets and fit them around the eyeballs, kind of match them. And I want to make her have some brows, so I can grab inflate, just kind of inflate this over here like this, and start to work a cheek in there. You still have them? That's awesome. Oh, this looks like a highly produced pre-recorded video. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, so I really like streaming. It's fun. I do it every Monday on the Pixelogic channel that you're watching right now, if you're over here. Okay, let's see. Now I want to make her smiling, so I'm going to be pulling this up because she's a cackling witch, right? I'm not going to do the witch cackle. My wife can do it pretty good. Did I say that out loud? That's probably not a good thing. And then I like to grab this. So as part of the cartoon look, they always have that little kind of cheek thickness, like that volume around where it's being pulled up like this. So I'm going to try and work that in. And I can turn on dynamic subdivisions so it gets smoother. Okay. Then, let's see. I need a little more geometry, and let's combine the nose with the head here before we get too far. And I want to duplicate this off in case I need to go back. Then hide the other one. You came here for the witch cackle, sorry. Sorry to disappoint. Okay, here we go. Now, to combine these, what I used to use is Dynamesh, but now I've been using Remesh by Union. And to do this, what we do is hit Alt, tap on this home, then tap on this circle arrow to reset everything. So it kind of puts the axis on 0, 0. Okay. So now, because if you don't have it at 0, 0, sometimes you'll get an error. It'll say you can't do that. It's asymmetrical or something. And you hit the cone, and then you hit Remesh by Union. And what that does is that essentially stitches everything together. So now you have the nose that's stitched to the head, like this. But it's not really a sculptable mesh. It's just combined now. So if I hit the gear and I hit accept, that's pretty good. Now what I can do, before I do this, I think I want to add the eyelids. I want to add eyelids in there. I'm trying to think if I do. Because her eyes are wide open, you can't really see her eyelids much. So when you can, hey Andre, yep, I'm actually adding this lesson in my course right now. Like I've been writing the script a bunch. Anyway, it's kind of a new workflow, and I'm working it out. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Well, let's see. Did I miss anything? If I missed your comment, please comment again. I looked for that all day the other day. It's under the gizmo. Yep, Dan, it's under the gizmo. Yep. Okay. Here we go. So I've changed my mind. I'm not going to add eyelids right now because the eyelids that I want aren't very. They're not huge. They're just very subtle. So I'm just going to sculpt them in after the fact. Okay. So now that we have this, since the nose is no longer sculptable in these areas because they're all triangulated, what I can do is I can Zremesh again. So now if I grab this gear and hit Remesh by Zremesher again, and we already have this red cone pulled out, so we're symmetrical in the X. And then I want to pull this white cone out more. I want more geometry. So I'm going to pull it to about, this is just a total guess, but about 4,000. And that's looking pretty good. I like that. That works. Okay, so now hit this gear, hit accept, and we're there. See that? Pretty good. And what I can do now is I can turn up the power on my smooth, because when you're working super low resolution, you want lower power because it'll smooth faster. But as you go up in density, you want to kind of match your smooth brush power as you go. So I'm going to hold down Shift and crank the intensity up even more. Hey Sumerian, how you doing? Hey Mordecai. Never seen those cones before? Yeah, they're under the gizmo. They're fairly new. I think 2018 at least, maybe 4R8. I can't remember. But now I can essentially just come in here and smooth this out. And you can Zremesh at any time. I can do it again right now, and it's not going to change anything really. I mean, it's going to change the flow, but it's not going to hurt anything. The cones, all the cones. I'm gonna give her bigger nostrils. She's got to have those witch nostrils. Okay, again, this is the thing you got to watch out for. It gets me every single time. After I do remesh by anything, it will turn symmetry off. So I always forget, and I start to sculpt, and you know, I'm only affecting one side and not the other. So I need to remember to remind myself, hey, you need to turn that back on. Symmetry. Yep, symmetry, dang it. And if I forget, there is always a way around it to fix it. So just gonna pull those nostrils up in there, get them nice and witchy. Yeah, it does. That's what turns it off, for sure. Just like, son of a, why did you turn back off? Okay, now I just want to try and, now that I have more geometry, I can come in here and just kind of work on sculpting this out a little bit more, like giving her a lower lip with inflate, nice and smooth. Harish, I do have reference images on my other monitor, but I'm not sculpting any one particular thing. I just have a bunch of witches on my other monitor that I'm looking at, just for kind of reference, but not really. I'm taking just ideas from several, kind of melding them together. Okay. Yeah, Dan, something like that, right? Is it possible to use the project primitive tool? Absolutely. Yep, you totally can. You totally can. It's just, so with project primitive, if you guys don't know what that is, it's kind of a toy to play with. It's really fun to explore and find different things. But what I find with it is I always want to just add my own shapes, and that kind of makes, well, it's kind of hard. It's difficult to get into the explanation of it. But if you're going to use it, it wants you to kind of commit each shape as you go. And the way I typically work is I don't like to commit to those different shapes until I'm actually completely satisfied with where they're at, and I like to keep it editable. So I like to keep my shapes separate until it's time to combine them. And the project primitive wants you to combine them, unless you pull out, there's a purple cone. So if you pull out that purple cone, it keeps all the objects separate, but then you lose that really cool melding thing that project primitive does, the projection part of project primitive. So I find myself just not, I will use it occasionally when I want to experiment, but not typically. I'll typically keep myself away from that. Okay, now I want to kind of work on this jawline here and get it looking good from back here. So, and then I want to put, I think her ears are going to be covered by hair. So I don't know if I'm going to build ears. And then she doesn't have a forehead, really. So I'm going to pull up her forehead. Give her a forehead. Okay. And then I'm going to work out those eyes too. Because you always want the eyes to look nestled in the head, not just kind of stuck in there like a rock in some mud. You know? It's best to integrate them. Yep, just remember to use Zremesh if you do use it. Okay. Everybody's asking that. I'm not really working with concept today. I have some reference, but I don't have a specific piece of reference, not concept. I mean, I'm having a hard time speaking again today. Sorry, guys. Okay. And I really want her mouth to be up here and pulled back. Okay. Get that top lip going. There we go. What is that topological button? That is, that's a special button that everybody needs. Essentially, it turns any brush into a topological brush. So I don't really have anything that I can show you an example of. Here, let me just draw something on the surface really quick so I can show you. Like these crazy horn ear things. Okay, so essentially, if I have move and topological is turned off and I grab this area with a big brush, it's going to move and manipulate both of those objects. If I turn on topological on the move brush, there is a topological move brush, but I like to have it here so I can turn it on for anything, even smooth. It'll work for anything. So you just turn that on. Now it will only affect the object that I grab first, and it won't affect the head, or if I grab the head first, it won't affect the pink. So that's what topological does. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. So delete hidden. Let's see. Sometimes clip curve gives us a horrible line look outside of the object it curves. The only way I've found to fix it is to disable symmetry while using it. Yes. Yep. That's the way to do it. Disable symmetry, and then, because the clip curve ignores symmetry. It doesn't really care. But then, and I almost wish they called it the smash brush, because it says it's a clip curve, but it's essentially smashing everything up to that line. So if you, if there's like, let's see if I turn this on. So see how it smashes all the geometry. And what he's talking about is sometimes it does this, and you know, on one side, and it's like, what? That's not what I want. So you can either use the trim curve brush, which will actually cut it, but it will make triangles in its place. It'll cut it off and then put triangles there, which is okay if that's what you want to do. You can always Zremesh it. And then it will also smash, stuff. So let's see. See, it just brings everything from that faded side of the line up till the white dotted line. Even the chin all the way down there, it's going to bring it up. It will respect masking, so you can mask this off and then do it, and it will respect this masking. So you can do stuff like that with your mask turned on. So that's another thing you can do. All right. Where is it? Okay, if you're ever wanting to find out where something is on somebody's user interface, you can always hold down Control and it will tell you. See at the very bottom of this little pop-up window, it says button path, brush, auto masking, topological. So you go to brush, then to auto masking, and then it's right there. And then when you want to bring it out to your user interface, you just turn on Preferences, Config, and then enable Customize. And then you hold down Control plus Alt and drag that button out onto your user interface. And then you hit Store Config, and then it'll be there every time you pull it up. Or you can just grab my user interface over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. I give it away for free. You just go over there, and that's a little bar at the very top of the web page. You just click on there, and you'll get all these brushes, my user interface, and my ruler file. I have a ruler in here that helps you measure things for printing and game characters and stuff like that. So, okay, that's the fast way to do it. Okay, so let's continue working on here. I'm thinking I want to try. Usually I like to have eyeballs one eyeball apart as far as like the proportions, stuff like that. So, but occasionally you'll see cartoon characters with their eyes smashed together, like Garfield or something like that, you know. I might try that with this character because one of my references is that way and I really like it. So I think I might try it. Let's just see. Let me save it first. Always save first before you do anything huge. There we go. Okay. Yep, Mordecai, that's a great tip. So if you've ever accidentally or if you ever want to remove anything, you just hold down Control and Alt and just drag it into the canvas and drop it off. Okay, let's see. Let me turn on transparency so I can see how overlapped these are. So I'm going to push them together like this. And then I'm going to adjust the eye cavities to match. Okay. This will be fun. Fun and different for once. Okay. Pull this down. Smooth it out. Smooth this out. And have that cheek be really big around here. And then I want her angry. Because witches are angry, right? They're angry, happy, mad, whatever you call that. She's mad. Sometimes I like to use inflate on reverse, which is just holding in Alt with inflate, and it will push into the model. Hey Lucky D, I'm only changing one small portion, which is I'm basically telling you to use Zremesher more. That's all. And how to combine with Remesh by union rather than using Dynamesh. Those are essentially the only two changes. Just pushing in these sockets. Yes, Moonmix, thank you. I still have it open for enrollment right now if you guys are interested. Okay. Right, Math 3D? Oh man, they're a little too bulbous out here. I'm gonna shrink them in a little bit more. There we go. It's kind of like the ghosts on Casper. Looks like, you know, those Casper movie. Okay. That's better. I'm liking that better. And then I'm kind of imagining the skull underneath here. Oh, funny. Okay. Let's push that up. Hey, Chris. Overton, I occasionally use Dynamesh, but I use it very little anymore. Because I like... Essentially, Zremesher just does the same thing as Dynamesh does. So in combination with Remesh by union. So Dynamesh will get rid of any interior geometry, which works great for like making your model watertight, or if you want to combine primitive objects like this, it works fantastic. The only problem is it makes your model very, very high resolution. So it's like you can do a Zremesh and then remesh it, or you can do Remesh by union and then Zremesh that. So it's like two paths to the same end, you know? It depends on what you like. But for me personally, I'm kind of enjoying having, or keeping my resolution low, because a lot of times Dynamesh, well, not a lot of times, every time, Dynamesh will combine things that you don't want to combine. So if you've ever used, I need to slow down. If you've ever used Dynamesh and you have a hand and your fingers are too close together, sometimes those fingers will stitch together and give you really bizarre geometry. You know, it'll kind of stitch them together. Or if you have a mouth interior and you've closed your lips, Dynamesh will stitch those lips together. Well, Zremesher will not. It will keep that flow. It won't stitch them together. And Remesh by union will not. It will only mesh two different primitives together. It will not mesh like fingers together or anything like that, if that makes sense. Like they can be super close but not overlapping. As long as they're not overlapping, it won't mesh them together. So that's the difference between the two states. Okay. And I typically, I've been experimenting with keeping the polygroups, but I really don't see a reason why I need to keep them around. I just want the flow like this. That's the goal. I just want the flow, something that I can sculpt on. And then if I get into a bind, if I need more geometry to sculpt on, I can always turn on, you know, Sculptus Pro and turn that on, and then it'll add it that way. Then I can Zremesh that afterwards. You saw that last week when I did the vampire. I ran out of some geometry on the nostrils, so I just used Sculptus Pro and fixed it, and then I Zremeshed it, and it worked out great. So let's see. Michael Pavlovich, nobody can talk as fast as that guy. When I try to like that, I stumble over my words and I just like, you know? Anyway, yeah, nobody can match his talking speed, except for that Galoob guy. That, you remember the old Micro Machines advertisements? Okay, I'm gonna get some teeth and a tongue in here. Somebody asked, Angle, why you sculpt with polyframe turned on? I just like to see the flow. I just like to see the, you know, the form of everything. If I sculpt like this, it's not really an indicator of what I have going on. I just like to see the surface. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll switch from Skin Shade 4 over to like Zebro Gray or something like that, where I can see the surface. So then I can see what I need to fix, things like that. Hey, over on Facebook, those of you just joining, welcome. Just run a pinch along this lip. So that's a really cool thing when you're working low like this. You can still use like pinch and smooth. I can come in here and just kind of pinch this little crease out and make a smile, and then just kind of run an edge along this mouth and out along these lips. Something like that. Hey, what's up, Caitlin? It's a more scary nose bonk, nosy bonk. I'll be putting big warts and stuff on her too. That'll be fun. Okay. Let's get the mouth, interior mouth shaped a little better. I can smooth these eyes down too. There we go. That's better. I need to Google him. All right, I'll check it out. I'm like, what's nose? I don't know, nosy bonk. Nosy bonk. Okay, and we'll get a tongue going on in there. Actually, let's do that next. That looks horrifying. Properly horrifying. Yeah, it kind of looks like Casper's Uncle Stretch a little bit, doesn't it? You're right. Oh, come on, look at that. It's like flipping onto the other side. I can't grab it. Stop it. That's funny. All right. So for stuff like tongues like this, I like to use Move Elastic because it moves it a lot smoother so I can get better curves. I also like to use Snake Hook. Yeah, let's switch to Snake Hook, but for some reason I have RGB turned on my Snake Hook brush. I don't know why. Okay, let's see. You guys are asking great questions today. Oh, UK Kids TV. Okay, gotcha. Is there a way in ZBrush to make linked polygroups? Say you want to duplicate 4 fingers, so when you edit one polygroup, it updates all of them? No. I wish that was a thing, but there isn't. The only instancing that ZBrush has is like in something called nano mesh, which is like when you can populate a surface with a whole bunch of little items. All of those little items are instances of one another. I guess you could kind of do that with fingers. I never really thought about it, but I probably wouldn't. It's not like other 3D programs where you can do instances of things. I wish. Nano. Nano. Sumerian, let's see. Sorry if you didn't. I have a few internet problems with the bad weather. What do I look like? Your IT guy? Come on. That was funny. Sorry you're having bad weather, Sumerian. I cannot fix it from here. All right, we'll just put a little channel down here. Oh, thanks, Tenshi. Let's see. How can you mask and keep geometry detail in the hands and feet when Z-remeshing without it creating tears, valleys in between the masks? So Z, you basically, you don't put the details in until the very, 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 very end. You don't put toenails in, you don't put any of that stuff in. You just make the little bulbous toes in there, you know, but you don't put any knuckles, no wrinkles, none of that stuff. That's the temptation. You want to try and get that detail in there as fast as possible because detail makes your model awesome, right? Well, wait, be patient. That stuff will come. Wait until the very, very, very end if you can. So like for the example, the middle of this tongue, I'm just kind of getting myself a general idea of the center, just so it helps me with the volumes. I'm not trying to put detail in here. I'm just trying to give myself a map, a road map that I'm following. So, and since this tongue is quote unquote supposed to be a different material, just like the eyes, I'm gonna want it in a different subtool. So I'm gonna split that out right now. You should share that meme you posted in the group about detailing. I should, huh? I did. I posted a meme just the other day. Let's see. Split to unmasked points. There we go. So now my tongue is in its own subtool. The eyes are in their own. And now I can grab that tongue, solo it, and kind of finish this valley just right here. Okay. Yep, detail, you just want to, just be patient. Be patient, my friend. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, and we just barely finished up the Halloween student challenge, which is super fun. Here's my student workshop. So I posted this meme. Where is it? Here, I'm going too fast. You guys got to see this amazing artwork that these students are doing. These are from the Halloween challenge that we just finished up with. Some of these are not the Halloween challenge, they're just student artworks, but and here's one of Caitlin's. This is awesome. She actually printed it out. Let's see, where is that meme? It's like probably pushed way down here. It's a super active channel, as you can tell. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. All right. See this? See, people should nail their secondary forms before moving on to tertiary details. But tertiary details make my model look so good. But it's just covering up flaws in your model. You're just lying to yourself. But I want to be instant famous, though. We see through your BS. Oh, this is great. Anyway, learn from this. It's great. All right. Z, I'm hopefully going to, I'm going to use an internal community as soon as it becomes available for us to use. And the people who host my course, they said that it should be available before the end of the year. So I'm just hoping that they don't shut down Google Plus before the end of the year. Yeah. Yes, Caitlin is sculpting another gremlin. Sorry, I wasn't too slow. I haven't asked all of the students if I could show their stuff on my stream, so that's why I kind of buzzed through there really quickly. Okay, we got the tongue in there. Let's form this cheek a little better. Okay, are we on the face? Yeah. I just want this cheek to be really out here and then kind of scoop in faster and then make this chin. I kind of want to have a butt chin. Yeah, yes, very, very accurate. We all see through your BS. Stop putting details in so fast. It's not about the render. It's not about the details. It's about the forms. It's about the forms. There. I've told you guys my secret. Now you know. Okay, let's put a neck on this. I forgot the neck. I forgot the neck. You should probably use a pen. I would say you should be using a pen. If you're using a mouse, then you're just, it's like doing brain surgery with a shovel. You need the tool for the correct tool for the job. You don't need a Cintiq, that's for sure, but you need at least a, you don't need, but I recommend, I highly recommend a tablet. Any kind of tablet you can find, it doesn't matter what brand it is, what type it is. It doesn't matter if it's expensive or if it's cheap. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you have a pen and a tablet of some sort to do this stuff with. Highly recommended. Otherwise, it's like sculpting with a brick. You know, trying to sculpt with a brick. It's not the funnest thing. All right. Kind of looks like the mask from the front, you know, like the mask. All right. How does it help? How does it help you sculpt? So it's just like, it's using a sculpting tool. It's like using a pen. I really don't know how to answer that question. It's mo better. Using the right tool for the job. Let me see. Any keyboard shortcut for Remesh by Zremesher? No, unfortunately not. You just have to go in there and do it. Yeah, that's why I said it doesn't matter how, it doesn't need to be an expensive tablet at all. I've seen some super cheap ones, like the Bamboo or whatever, those really cheap ones. You don't need an expensive tablet. You just need a tablet. I've seen tablets that are pretty, you know, they're not $20 or something like that, but you don't have to spend thousands or even hundreds. You just get a tablet to start with, you know. Sausage connection lumps are going to be the death of me. They're difficult to deal with, aren't they? So, do you want me to? Well, I don't want to derail this stream too much, but maybe I'll do a student feedback live session for you guys and show you how to fix that stuff easy. Okay. Yeah, there's some cheap. Yep, tablet pressure. Tablet pressure is a huge thing. I should have just answered with tablet pressure. Thanks, you guys. Tablet pressure. You don't get that with a mouse. It's either on or it's off. Okay, let's see. I want this nose bigger and closer to her face. I'm gonna put a wart on there and on her chin later. And then let's kind of grow. Let's see. I want it so you can't see the skin in between them, maybe. Is that good? That's better, I think. So they're kind of close, mashed together. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this and try Z-remeshing again because I'm starting to get some lumps through here that I'm having a hard time smoothing out. And it's because the forms are being twisted, or the geometry is being twisted around here. And I just want to try and see if I can get a better thing. And I'm going to I'm going to stitch these together. Let's go back to Skin Shade 4 and duplicate this, hide the original. So this is where you do the Zremesh by Union. I'm going to put some ears on her too. Let's do some ears really quickly. She's looking, the sides of her head are looking naked. Maybe I'll give her some pointy witch ears. Why not? It's kind of fun just designing on the fly. I don't do it much. Hey Harry, how you doing? Blocktober? Yeah, ask away, Lucky. Z, I have done in the past, but not often, not often. And when I do, it's not too much, because then I would be doing a disservice to the people who have bought it full price. So I like to keep it affordable, which I think it is. You know, it's not, I mean, it's I don't know. It is what it is, and people feel like it's worth way more than I'm charging for it, that I've heard, so I'm just going to keep it. I like to keep it what it's at. But I will be adding some more, I'm going to be adding more content soon. And when I do, I'm going to be adding a lot more content. I'm adding a new module called Stylized Anatomy. And it's going to be going into a lot of anatomy stuff and tips and tricks and what to look for and roadmaps and bony landmarks and all that stuff. And when I add that, I'm probably going to increase the cost of the course at that time. He looks like a goblin or a yeah, this is interesting. I have some reference on my other screen, but I am kind of just making it up as I go. Yeah, it's kind of Green Goblin for sure. But once I get the witch's hat on there and I get the hair on there, it'll really make it look different, I think. And one thing to say about when I do updates, updates are free for my course. I don't charge extra for updates. It's not a DLC you have to pay for. So how long are you allowed to work on a character at a studio? It depends on the studio, actually. Z, I'm trying to get it done before the end of the year. That's my goal. I don't know if I will or not, but that's my goal. Okay, and I want those little, I want some chiclet type teeth in here. Polish brush, yep, polish brush, it works great. So this polish brush here, you might want to try H polish, which is not out on my interface, but this polish brush tends to work better on higher resolution models. So if you're having troubles with using this one, try H polish that comes with ZBrush. Might be, you might have better results with that one. Just looking at this from all directions to make sure my flow is happening correctly. Looks like I have, see her lip is kind of sticking out weird right there. Push that in. There we go. Hey, what's up, Patrick? Straws. Witchy straws. That's how she would drink her tea. Good question, though. Okay. Now that we have these, let's stitch them together. See, now by the time I'm done, I have all these duplicated heads. I'm going to go through here and delete them as I go to just have that. Okay, duplicate this one, hide the original, and then center my gizmo and reorient the axis, and then do remesh by union again. Boom. And you can see that it stitched the neck on, it stitched the ear on. We're good to go. Now let's hit the gizmo again and hit accept. Sometimes that little gear is hard to see, but you just need to hunt for it in there. Yep, she snorts her tea. That's good too, right? Okay, but now we have unsculptable geometry here. It's just not very kind when you try and sculpt this area. So what I like to do is Zremesh it again. And let's see. Remesh by Zremesher, and this time we'll get even more polygons, even more density. Maybe 6,000-ish. Okay. There we go, not too bad. Now everything's stitched. Everything's flowing. The eyebrows are flowing a little better. So let's accept this. Look good. And we can turn on symmetry. I remembered this time. Turn on symmetry, and then just, now I need to crank up my smooth power, my smooth intensity, so I can smooth this stuff out. And just start reworking this. I want a little shape like this. And just kind of tap that ear interior. Something like that. That's kind of fun. What is the... Was that a special way to do Zremesh? Yes and no. Essentially, it's just Remesh by Zremesher, and that is under the gizmo, under the gear. You just find it there. And it's essentially just Zremeshing. It's doing the exact same as Zremesher, but it gives you a cone so you can pick the density on the fly. And then it will remember your original density, so if you want to go back while you still have it there, you can do that. Let's see, are your courses focused entirely around stylized character creation, or could the course be relevant to photorealistic? Yes, because, I mean, I don't teach photorealistic, and photorealism really comes from proportions and then like how realistic your textures are at the end. But your core volumes, your core shapes, and how to get there, your anatomy, all that kind of stuff, it all plays into it. And so you can take it to a certain point before you decide to go with realism beyond that. So yeah, it does look like a goblin. Kind of looks like the Green Goblin a little bit. And she will be green. But it's crazy. One thing that makes a female, when you're doing stuff like this, stylized characters, eyelashes. I don't know why, but eyelashes, that's all you need. Just throw some eyelashes on, then all of a sudden it's female. Crazy. Hey Chris, if you go to 3dcharacterworkshop.com and you click on the, here I'll show you. So just 3dcharacterworkshop.com. It'll take you here. I have this video, but if you click on this, check out the enrollment page, it will take you and you can see what the price is currently. And if you want my free brushes, you just go here and click here, and then you can fill this out, and you'll get my free brushes and this ruler and my user interface and stuff like that. So that's how you go get that. Thanks for asking all the questions today, guys. Okay, I want to enclose the shape around the face. I'll switch to the ZBrush modeling. Just to kind of, I'm just using the pinch brush So Amar, any tip for people who, like me, who can sculpt complex models but not stylize characters despite wanting to? Yeah, that's basically what my course teaches you, is how to start with primitive shapes. Just break everything down to the most simple shapes possible. Just moving this down so the chin makes sense. Yeah, Gary, no worries. Thanks. Thanks for taking a look. Okay, I'm going to grab this pinch brush. So that's another thing is when you Zremesh, a lot of times people are like, oh, I put in all these creases and everything, and now when I Zremeshed, it lost all my creases. If you remember that crease I put in here for the smile, now it's kind of gone, or it smooths it out. So all you need to do is come back in here and just put some of those back in. Okay, so you'll lose some of those, and that's okay. You don't want to crank your Zremesh density so high that you lose, that you will capture all the detail, because what happens is it's going to slow your machine down. It doesn't work very good with dynamic subdivisions, any of that kind of stuff. So just keep your mesh as low as you can, and just know that it's going to lose some of those tight crease details, and just go and put them back in. It's better to do that than to crank your Zremesh density up. All right. And to answer your question too about the realistic characters, I have several students that are realistic sculptors that took my course, like Andre, he was just in here earlier. And he came from the realistic sculpting world. And he learned how to do stylized by doing my course. He's doing a fantastic job. He's done a fantastic job. He's been in there for a while. What about reprojecting to get the details back? You certainly can, but at this point, I don't have any real subdivision levels. This is just a mesh that's sitting at 13,000 points. That's it. That's all I have right here. Active points, 13,000. You can see it right here. So that is really not enough density, mesh density, to carve out tight little details, right? Tight little, like, you're not going to be doing skin pores and things like that at this stage. That's why I like this method so well, is because it kind of keeps you out of doing that. Let's see, we got an hour. Okay. So anyway, just you won't be wanting to do the details at this stage anyway. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay. Thanks, Marion. That's nice. Nice of you to say. Okay, so on this guy, I'm trying to decide. I think I'm just going to go with an insert multi-mesh cylinder and make the hat. Yeah, with dynamic subdivisions turned on, you'll notice it's turned on right now. I can turn it off, and the real model actually looks like this. Subdivision, this dynamic sub D is just a preview. It's like hitting, if you're used to using Maya, it's like hitting the number 3 on your keyboard to do a subdivided preview. That's all it is. So, and I need to pull this neck down more. I keep seeing things. As I sculpt, I'm always seeing things, and I always want to fix them. And so I was about to build the hat, and then I got sidetracked. It's like my wife calls it squirreling. Squirrel. Because I see something and I have to fix it before I forget. Because if I don't, I'll forget and I won't come back, or yeah. maybe I'll come back, maybe I won't. Anyway, okay, here we go. Let's get the hat going. After I smooth this neck out just a little bit more. Okay. Oh, live clay? Yeah, it's kind of fun. That's kind of fun, but that uses voxels, and voxels are a little more difficult to deal with, or they can be. Yeah, Husky has a scroll feature. Okay, here we go. Let's grab a cylinder. We're going to draw it out. Whoop. Just draw it out. There we go. Done. Okay, this cylinder comes with my user interface and my free brushes. And I built the cylinder specifically to have a quad top so it doesn't have a pole, because when you subdivide a cylinder that has a pole, it's going to jam all of that geometry down into the center point here, and that's not what you want. It's easier to subdivide and it works better if you actually have quads on top. And you'll also notice I don't have subdivisions along the length of this, okay? So I'm going to split this off, split to unmasked points. I'm going to put it in its own subtool. When I do that, a hotkey to go to it is just the down arrow on your keyboard. That's just going to go down. Oh, spaceship, you're not talking about me? That's funny. Anyway, you can just push the down arrow and it'll just select the next subtool in your subtool list. It's a nice shortcut. Okay, and another reason, well, the reason I don't have loops is that way I can make a cone out of this really easily. So I'm going to grab Mask Lasso, I'm going to mask the bottom half of this off. Then I can tap Alt and tap the gizmo to the top of this, and I can just grab it like this and shrink it down to a cone. Now it's a cone. Like this. Easy, easy. Okay. Now I'm going to make the brim of the hat, and I can just start from here and just extrude it out. So what I do is grab the Z modeler. I'm just going to insert, let's turn off dynamic. I'm just going to insert an edge loop down to here. Then I'm going to Q mesh a poly loop. And there's, if you zoom in here, there is a, can you see this little orange line? I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom in closer. See this orange line? That indicates which direction you want your poly loop to run. So essentially I want it to run around this, around the circle, so I can grab it and pull it out like this. Okay, now that I have that, I want to make this whole thing single-sided. It has thickness right now, but I want to make it single-sided because it's much easier to edit that way. So what I can do now is come in here and I'm going to re-polygroup this with auto groups. So I'm just going to hit groups by normals, and what that does is that puts everything beyond a 90-degree angle into its own polygroup. You can see that, like the tip and this top. So I'm going to hide this, and I want to hide this. So it's just this now. Then delete it, delete hidden. Now I just have this. Yeah, Z-spheres. I used to use Z-spheres back in the day, but I don't use them anymore unless I'm doing something like glasses. Like if I need something that has a tube that runs along a certain length, or if I'm making like a handle for a tool or something like that. That's typically the only time I'll ever use Z-spheres. That's just me. Okay, so now I've masked everything off except for the outer edge of this hat. Now, since it's single-sided, it's super easy to manipulate this thing now without dealing with the thickness, right? Turn off symmetry, pop that in the center, turn it back on, make this brim big. And then I'm going to turn on double so I can see it from both sides. I want to make it thinner front side to side than it is front to back. Okay. Now I'm just going to move this whole thing kind of into place. Something like that. Okay, now I want to flip this I'm going to flip the bill up, and I'm going to actually, I'm going to curve this, the hat. I'm going to kind of swoop it into a curve. And I need more geometry in order to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the Z Modeler brush, which we still have active, hover over a curve, insert multiple edge loops. So that way I can go like this and insert a few of them, because I want enough around there so I can actually bend it around the curve. Now I'm around this edge of this hat. I also want to do the same thing, but I only want one. So not a ton. One. Come on. It wants to do a bunch of them. Okay, let me turn that off. Come on. Single edge loop. There we go. Okay. Now what I can do is I can use the snake hook brush and just start bending this. Let me make sure symmetry's on and just start bending the front of it up. Because now I have the geometry. I can turn on dynamic subdivision so I can see it. But now you'll notice, okay, so you'll notice these little orange dots when I turn on dynamic subdivision levels. And those orange dots are representing where the actual geometry is, because when you subdivide it actually shrinks your geometry. And there is a way around it, and what you can do is you can crease the edges. So I can just turn on, I can just crease polygroups, which will do that. And that'll just put a crease around here, but it'll also put a bunch of creases all the way down here because all of these are in different polygroups. I'll clear those out later. I just want to have, since I'm just working on this, the brim of the hat, this is all I care about. So somebody asked, do you use clay buildup in your models? I sometimes do, but not very often. I'll do that when I'm experimenting with organic shapes. But when I know the direction I'm already headed, I will typically just use primitive shapes and block it out that way. Okay. Then I want the back of this hat to kind of curl up in the same way. Curl up. There we go. And I'm watching, I'm looking for the silhouette and the flow. How do you just crease everything all at once? I just hit crease polygroups. So if you go down here in the tool menu, under crease, actually it's under geometry, then you go to crease right here. There's one that's called crease PG, that's crease polygroup border. And that just puts a crease around every single polygroup. So since this all had polygroups, it put a crease around all of those things. And I don't want that event, in the end, but for now it's fine. Pulled this hat down. Then her hair is going to be flowing out of here. I don't know if I'll get to the hair today. This might be a two-parter because hair is always intense to do, takes time. So I might not get to that today. And then I want her to have one of those like witch collars, Is there such thing as a witch collar? Just just a ripped up dress collar. Anyway, okay. It's funny how this made like Halloween colors, purple and orange and yellow when I did the polygroups. That just happened that way. Get the coral hairbrush. I usually use, I like Benjamin Hale's brush, which is really, really good. It's my fave. And it's really fast, but I'll have to look at that. Who makes coral hairbrush? Or like Dylan Ekron's brush is really good. There are so many of them out there. Okay, this ear is way pointy, and it's going up through the hat. Rather than adjusting the hat around it completely, I'm just gonna bring the ear down so it's not poking through there like that. I might make it longer just for fun. Make it more goblin-ish. Okay, now Let's give her some teeth and some eyebrows. Actually, let's, I want to bend that hat before we get any further. Okay, let's see where that gizmo is. Now the gizmo has everything to do with how it's going to wrap around your model. Whoops. Okay, and it's actually in a good spot. That's where I want it, because I want it to be pointing down the length of this hat right here. Oh, the guy I made before the vampire? The coral hair, I'm trying to remember. Are you talking about the... My memory's shot. I can't even remember, sorry. Okay, let's see. Then we'll go to this, this bend curve, and we'll see what it gives us. Okay, it gives us this big box, and I kind of wish it was a little tighter around this curve, but that's okay. Now what we need to do is, do we want it symmetrical? No. Axis. Smoothness, curve resolution. Okay, I want to turn the resolution up. Now you can see these 3 dots. There's one on each end and one in the middle. That's the resolution. If I keep pulling on this, it just keeps adding more and more dots. That's the resolution of the bend. And you can see the bend is on the wrong axis. I want the bend going down lengthwise, so I need to change the axis to this. And you can see how it's slightly off because the gizmo, before I did this, was not, I thought it was aimed properly, but apparently it's not. But I'm gonna try this anyway, because I just need to kind of have enough resolution in here that I can give it a whoop-de-doo, I guess. So then I can just start grabbing these curves and bending them around and giving this hat more of an interesting shape. Really easy to do this. Bend curve, those new gizmo things are awesome. And I can turn on, let's see, nope, I can't. I was gonna say turn on dynamic subdivisions, but I can't. Okay. And I think I don't know, I'm gonna keep it symmetrical for now. And once I like this, I'm just gonna hit the gear and hit accept. I like it now. Then I can just smooth this out lightly. Turn the intensity down and just kind of smooth it out. There we go. That looks like a witch's hat, right? You have to make that fast food character that somebody showed you in the vampire. Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the one made by Matthew? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that guy is great. That guy's great. Actually, Matthew is he's in my course. He's one of my students. And I stayed with him at CTN a couple years ago. He's a great guy. He's from the UK. Super nice. And again, I didn't have symmetry turned on. It got me again. Okay. Now that we have this, let's shrink that head in the back to fit the hat. And let's put some teeth in there. Teeth. Well, actually, we're making pretty good time. We've been an hour and 24 minutes, so we might be able to get some hair in here. We'll see. Okay, but for the teeth, now, there's 2 ways to do it. Well, there's more than that. There's a billion ways to do it, but two ways I typically make teeth, and that is I'll usually start with a cube and then subdivide it. You know, if they're squarish teeth, or I can start with a sphere and just kind of squish it around. And I typically like to do the sphere method better because it gives me more even topology and it's a little easier to sculpt. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's just grab one of these spheres. And these spheres across the top that come with my Insert Multi-Mesh brush, these are just different resolutions of spheres based on what I'm going to be doing. And I want this to be kind of a medium-high resolution for this tooth. So I'm just going to pull it out like this. And then squish it. It's going to be like chiclets. I'll probably make some gums for her too. I'm not sure. We'll have to see if I can hide them behind there and make them look good or not. But we'll see. Oh, that one by Matt. Yeah, Matt 2D. It's really good. You guys should check that out. Give Matt a follow on Instagram if you haven't. Okay, now I'm going to separate these out to a new subtool. Hit my down arrow to select them. And now just start shaping them. Okay, and again, I like to use snake hook for something like this. And snake hook is hard to describe, like why I like it so much. It just gives a different feel to the move brush. It's a little squishier and a little more predictable. The regular move brush is larger, and the move elastic brush is even larger than that. So. Hey Ash, what's going on? A Cubed in the house. What do you think? What do you think, Ashley, so far? Doing another Halloween sculpt. you knew it. You're just like, you're over there sculpting. You're like, snake hook, what? Ashley's a huge fan of the snake hook brush. As am I. Loves it. Loves it. Thought witches only had one tooth and they have to share it between them. I think you're thinking about the eyes. You know, like sharing the eyes between those three witches. That eye. So Ashley's another streamer on the Twitch Pixelogic channel. You should check her out. Her streams out. Whichever. Yep, it's going to be a female eventually. I know it looks like a dude right now, but I'm going to add some eyelashes. And it'll be instantly a female, right? And some long hair. So Ashley, remind everybody when you stream again. Is it Wednesday? When is it? I always forget, I'm sorry. So what I just did there to duplicate those teeth is I just held down Control and grabbed the move on the gizmo and just moved it. And as long as you don't have subdivision levels, it will duplicate anything that is not masked off. So that's how that worked. Yep. It's all the mascara. That's it. Oh, funny. You can always watch the replays too. The replays are the replays are up on Pixelogic's YouTube channel. I'm gonna make these bottom ones smaller. I think my dog's trying to come in here. She always tests the door to see if it's open. All right. Yes, thanks Moonmix. So if you go to right here, yep, if you go to pixelogic.com/ZBrushLIVE and then you go to presenters, this tab right here, you can see all of us presenters. Is that a sentence? All of the presenters on here. You can see me, and there's Ashley right here, Timothy. There's Michael Pavlovich you were talking about earlier, the guy who talks extremely fast but does some great work. My buddy Brendan, who does more realistic stuff. So if some of you guys were asking about more realistic sculpting, Brendan is the one to watch. And also Danny Mack is really good with stylized females and stuff like that. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. If you want to learn about jewelry, go check out T.S. Whittlebach. Yeah, fantastic stuff. It just goes on and on and on. So that's where to go. And if you want to watch past streams, all you need to do is hit this past broadcast and schedule. And you click on here, and it will show you like when Ashley streams and all of her past streams. So you can watch all of these right here, or you can go over onto YouTube and watch them there. Great stuff. Yeah, Ashley's always a blast to watch because I never know where those ideas come from. A dark place. No, they're super fun. Really cool. So you actually usually do one character per stream, right? Or you try to? Do you ever bring it into, do you ever do several streams for one character? Okay. Now that I have this, I'm going to make it asymmetrical. Turning off symmetry. Then we'll just grab. Let's see. Now what I can do is hit auto groups and it'll put every tooth in its own group. So then I can just move it around. And here's a special secret ZBrush gem. I always want to hear that Jeopardy do song. The secret ZBrush gem. Because there's secrets hidden in ZBrush all over the place that you don't really know about until you know about them, right? And here's one of them. If you have your move brush selected and you make your brush size 1, if you turn it down to 1, it grabs the entire object instead of, so typically the move brush will move it like this, right? Based on the size of your brush. If you move it down to size 1, it's going to grab that entire tooth and move it around just like this. So you can actually move it around on the plane of the camera rather than grabbing the gizmo and having it in your way when you're trying to move this stuff. Did you know that, Ash? I'm sure you did. I'm gonna make this one kind of the sole survivor down here. Yep, gems abound. It doesn't work for me, it's only if it's Dynamesh? No, it should work for you. You have to have move selected and you have to have each object in its own polygroup. And then turn your draw size to 1. Then it'll work. That is definitely a thing. Sorcery! Okay, now this one, there are too many things to remember. You know what? I'm going to make a hole. I'm going to delete this guy like that. Maybe. Does that look good? It looks good with just one tooth right there. That looks even better. Does it work with older versions? I don't know. You shouldn't have an older version. All upgrades are free. So upgrade. So I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Okay, I might keep that one around and delete this one. That's better. Okay, let's delete that one. Delete hidden. And let's pull that tongue back so it's not in there. Yeah, all upgrades are free. There's no reason to, and it's stable. I mean, people say it's, I haven't had any troubles with it not being stable. And then let's go in here and make these all fun. Not perfect. No witch has perfect teeth. Are you kidding me? Make this one a little wider as it goes back. All right. Oh, John Doe. Weird convenience, yep. All right. I think we're good with that. Maybe give her maybe one pointy one back here. Make it more pointy. And that probably means this one too. All right, that's good. That's good with the teeth. Oh, you did, Specky? Yeah, it feels like a pretty stable release. All right, let's give her some eyebrows, shall we? Okay. Eyebrows and eyelashes, because it's a female, right? Right, Ash? That's all you got to do. Hair and eyelashes. I'm going to save this first. We haven't saved for a while. Not load. Save. That would have been horrible if I loaded something. Or find the ZBrush modeling clay? You can just do a Google search for ZBrush modeling clay and you'll find it. Or ZBrush matte cap, and you'll find them all. They're really, really good. Okay. I want to grab this hat and subdivide it even more, just so it's okay. Let's do an actual real subdivision level. Let me see. Okay, and then kill it. So delete lower, it'll actually give more, and then I can come in here. Oh, that's why it's creased. I need to uncrease that stuff. So uncrease all, and then now if I just hit crease, just regular old crease, it just puts a crease around whatever's open, like this. Then if I hit Control D, why in the world? Okay. For some reason it put a crease right here. I'm just going to delete that. Okay. There we go. It was pinching it. There we go. That's much nicer. It looks like we got one back here too. Okay. And one more. Because regular crease will actually crease the angle. It'll look for angles and it will crease them. No. Undo it. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. Uncrease all. It's giving me grief. Then I'm going to turn down this crease tolerance. No, turn it up. Increase all. Sorry. There we go. That's what we want. Okay. Ta-da. All right. But I do want to have a crease around this bottom here. The whole poly loop. There. One second. I'm struggling with this, guys. Hold on a second. Red wax. Oh, thanks, sad boy. Appreciate it. I got to go back to where it was not creased. Do this one more time. Uncrease all. Turn this off. Struggling, people. Crease it. Crease this. Subdivide. There we go. Finally. Jeez Louise. Then delete lower. There we go. Now we have... Okay, there we go. I just wanted it to be smoother. That's all. Looks like a cowboy kind of from the front. Like some goblin cowboy. Yeehaw! All right. Are you in favor of having a completely new ZBrush UI that is more user-friendly? Absolutely. That's actually why I give away my user interface, is because people have an easier time learning ZBrush. That's what they've told me. They said they've had an easier time learning ZBrush with an interface that has everything out. So you're not digging for things that you need. And it comes with this menu. So this menu is essentially all that I use when I'm sculpting. I rarely come over into the tool menu because it's all right there. And then I have all the brushes that I use out here on top. So there's no need to go digging for brushes and getting lost. You don't want to be overwhelmed when you're learning. for the first time. So, Overton, I'm sure they are, my friend. That's a good question. That's hilarious. Overton's been prepping one of his 3D models for printing. And a general rule is you don't want to do anything less than 3 millimeters thick, or it will have a tough time printing on a resin printer. So, okay. I'm going to, let's see, we got like 20 minutes left. All right, I'm just going to try and put some hair in here just to see what happens before we do the eyebrows. Let's see if we can get it done in the time we have. So I love this Macon Hair Curves brush. We're going to try and use this. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of, oh yeah. All right, I need to fix the stroke. Goodness. Underneath curve modifiers. There's this curve fall off. And that's why it's going from thin to thick when I drew it. I need it to be all the same thickness. So I'm just going to raise this down. I kind of want it to taper as it goes down. Maybe like this. So now when I draw this out, perfect. Speed sculpting. Yep, we're in sprint time. We got 20 minutes. Let's do it. Okay, I just want it to kind of come out from underneath her hair and blow back in the breeze, but not like that. Holy cow. I think what I'm gonna have to do is just do a straight one and then put it into shape. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna have to draw it on here and then grab the snake hook or the move elastic and push it into place like that. All right. Snake hook for the win. Here we go. Time to show what snake hook's good for. And I start with a really big brush and then fine tune it later as I go. Snake hook! This is why I love the Benjamin Hale brush, is because it gives me these nice starts. When I say starts, I mean where the hair originates from the head. Love it, love it, love it. I got it from Funky Bunnies. I'll show you. Funky Bunnies. It's a great brush. Funky Bunnies. Just like it is what it is. And it's Chris Whittaker's website, but the brush was made in collaboration with Chris and Benjamin Hale. So if you go down, let's see, if you click on Tools right here, and you go down to ZBrush Stuff, there's ZBrush Brushes right here. And here is the fabulous brush right here. There's also an amazing eyelash brush that I used during one of my streams. It works really well. Anyway, go get it. It's awesome. Yeah, eCube, go. You go. And there's a really cool curl one too. Yeah, go get them. It's great. They're great. Okay. The only problem with this is when you start moving stuff around, it tends to get kind of compressed. So I need to work it out so it gets a little more uncompressed. Without introducing warbles, it's kind of hard to do. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to snake hook the brr out of this. I try and keep it kid friendly. Okay, and we're gonna go symmetrical with these first few. Yoink! Yep, yoink those things. And then you can kind of decompress them with the smooth brush, but you got to be careful because Sometimes you'll smooth too much and you'll lose the contour, the flow. Okay, I'm just trying to get a smooth flow that goes from thick to thin, tapering from the front, going back. Okay. Something like that. And then from the front, let's have it whipping in the wind, right? She's on her broomstick. It's going to be whipping. Thanks, Mike. Hey, Fandom Power. Okay, so we have our first strand. Let's do another one. This one's going to come out. I want it to just break up the surface of that first one. And I can pick one of these, maybe this flat triple. Let's go for the flat triple. Whoa, that's actually some really cool happy accident happening right there. I'm going to go smaller with the brush though. I want it smaller. It's a pretty cool twist. Do I want that twist? It's cool. Going for the flat triple, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay, that's it. It's nice to grab in the center of here, but what happens is it's really easy to kink. So it's you basically want to drag from either end to kind of get it into place a little more. Okay, so I might go just a little smaller with it. And if you want, say if this isn't quite long enough, kinked. Will he do it? And he kinked the landing. Okay, I don't know if I want it quite that much. So what you do is you hover your brush in here and you see kind of this little red leader line coming out. As long as you have that little red leader line, you can continue your stroke like that. So it's not clicking on that green dot and dragging it out, because that's just going to drag the line like this, right? So you actually have to grab that and make sure it has that little leader coming off of there. Okay, so now we're committed. Back to the good old snake hook. Let's add a reverse whip with the triple reverse whip. And we're going to make this one originate from underneath that hat and flow from behind her ear, like so. And let's get this. I'm looking for thin to thick as it goes through here. Red leader, standing by. Okay. So now that we have that, let's do one from underneath. You don't ever want to have a naked neck. That's the worst. Unless you're bald like me, naked neck is a bad thing. So we're gonna do another one coming from underneath. And you can use topology, this topological, with the snake hook brush. It's a fabulous thing to do. Okay, here we go. Let's pick another trick. Let's see. We got the flat double tube. We try the tube. Now the tube is it has hairs all the way around one big tube, which I could use to just bring and fill up this area, but I don't think there's enough hairs. Red leader, standing by. Stay on target. He's been hit. Let's try a thick triple. Okay, here we go with the thick triple. I'm going to draw it on the back side of this hair. Whoa. I crossed the streams in the center. That's bad. Don't cross the streams, kids. Okay, let's see. Sometimes it'll kink like this, and you have to drag it out in space to unkinch the kinch, whatever you want to call it. Like that. All you have to do is drag it, and pull it a little bit, unkink it like you're unkinking a hose, sort of. Oh man, I don't know what's happening. Let's see. You can totally drag this thing through space, like one of those little fuzzy creatures on a string. And just kind of park it into place. All right, that'll work actually. A big Adam's apple, yeah, man. Because then you'll think it's a dude posing as a witch. All right, let's bring these down, and we gotta fill out the neck. Need to make it originate from the neck. Okay, I'm turning off symmetry. Symmetry is going away, and I'm turning on topological. It's over. Symmetry is over. Adding some more. Oh, thanks, Demon Teddy. I like your name. It sounds like something you should sculpt. A Demon Teddy. Okay, one thing to note. The topological doesn't really play well with masking. So you'll either want to turn topological off and just mask the ones you want, or you can unmask everything and turn topological on. So but they tend not to work with each other. Okay, looks like fire. Fire. All right. I'm liking that. Let's get a little more volume happening underneath. Like this. I'm liking that. Then I can turn topological off and move everything together. Get that. I want it to kind of hook as it goes up. And flow back like this. Whew. If I make noises, it tends to help. That might be too much. All right. Like wizards, yep, wizards and witches. Like Harry Potter, right? Let's go further back with these middle ones to finish that out. I try not to make the hairs collide with each other, like interpenetrate each other, because then they look broken and unfinished. So I try my best to get them so they're not colliding. Like an overlap, as long as you don't see that collision. The hair is going to be red. How did you know? Tell her she's right. Right on the money. Okay. Now I'm going to raise that hat up just a bit. I'm not going to have any hair on her forehead. She's just going to be bald up there. Okay, and then let's move the hat up so it's not hitting those hairs. Okay, and then we can go in here and add some thickness to this hat. Just by, I'm going to put everything in its own polygroup. So we got one polygroup here. Then grab the Z modeler brush, hover over a face. I have QMesh turned on, which works, but I'm going to hit polygroup all. That way it's going to just add thickness to the entire thing. But it will also add thickness to this tip up here, which I'm going to delete the internal, what it did up there. So, because I don't need thickness all the way up inside the hat. So I can just grab this select lasso and then delete this ring. So I just deleted that internal ring. Then what I can do is hit auto groups. Oh, do it again. Doesn't look like, I wonder if it's, I wonder if there's something going on up in there that I don't like. I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I care or not. Yeah, it's having bad days up there. Okay, I gotta undo that. Hold on a second. Okay, let's Control Z back to where we were there. Okay, we're gonna do something different. So it looks like what happened is it extruded some stuff up in there that we don't like. So let's see. I'm just gonna extrude. Here, let's see what happens if I hit Group by Normals. Okay, that's good. Now I have the brim and I have this, and I just want to extrude the brim. I don't need to do the rest. So I can just add thickness this way. That's better. We do have some quads in here now they're actually called non-manifold geometry that we don't want. So we need to get rid of those. So if you ever, somebody in my class was asking like, why do I get this non-manifold geometry error? That's because this outside of this hat is a single-sided, and then it comes down and it meets with this one, and this one's single-sided, so it just doesn't work out. You got to have some thickness in there. So let's delete hidden. Now we have that. Yeah, Pepe, you need to just, what the goal here is to stay away from details as long as possible. We actually talked about that earlier in the stream. The reason I keep the lowest points possible is because of this. I want to keep everything smooth. And as soon as I start adding more geometry, it's going to make things more difficult to manage. So when I want to start adding details, I save it till the very, very, very end. And sometimes when I do stylized characters like this, I won't even add details at all. I'll just keep it the way it is. So, but if I ever do want to add details, that's when I add the real subdivision levels at the very, very end. Okay. Now I want this hat to not, let's see, to not be just a straight brim. I want it to have some, I want it to be round. Let's see. So I'm just going to add an extra subdivision. I can get rid of the creases, which will do. Oh yeah, it will slow you down. Like having too much detail will absolutely slow you down, for sure. Okay. So I'm going to uncrease this top edge and see what it does here. So crease, edge loop partial. I'm just going to uncrease that. Why isn't it doing it? Come on. It's when I'm in a hurry is when it doesn't work, right? I'm just going to leave it. Screw it. All right, forget it. It's not that big a deal. Let's get her colored. Okay, I'm going to switch to Skin Shade 4. And her hair's kind of a mess. If I want to make her hair better later. It just kind of kinks right here and it doesn't flow quite perfectly. So we'll do that later. Okay, let's start with her face. Let's make her green, of course, like a yellow green, something like, maybe not that, like maybe a blue green. So what you can do if you don't have color filled in your object yet, what you can do is just change this color and then rotate your model and it will update your subtool to look like it's filled with that color even though it's not. Okay, so let's see, I want it to be lighter skin than that, but I just don't want it to be crazy saturated. There we go. That's a nice, then I can hit fill. I want to hit hard paint, fill object. Okay, and then I'll grab her eyes. Her eyes obviously need to be like a yellow white. Fill those. Fill her teeth the same color. With her tongue, I'm thinking about, of course it's going to be red, but I was thinking about, I like to do complementary colors, like just like stick with a lighter or a darker green or something like that. I kind of like that. Let's see. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll come back to the tongue. Let's do the hair. Let's grab the hair. It's part of the same subtool as the head, so I need to split these off. Whoops. Split hidden, not unmasked points. Then go to the hair. Okay. Am I on the hair? No. There we go. On the hair. Let's get it like a nice reddish orange. Maybe more something like that. There we go. Yeah, it'll get there. I'll get there. It'll be, I'll ward it up here in a minute. Where'd the hair go? Not showing. Okay, the hat, I'm gonna make like a purple, like a dark purple. Something like that. Her tongue's a dark purple now. Let's go maroon. Oh, that's too dark. Let's try this. Okay. So basically I'll start with very primitive colors like this, and then I'll start adding gradients. Okay. So like with her face, I will come in here, even with this, we can use the same pink and start to warm up her fleshy bits, fleshy areas like her ear. Just kind of come in there and warm it up. Oh, no symmetry. Symmetry, I kind of wanted a little more red. Let's see. Let's try this. It's really hard to get red working with green. Fleshy bits. I was waiting for that. Let's go back to the pink. I'll just make it more saturated. There we go. That's better. You just want to lightly bring it up. There we go. Of course, rosy cheeks. And her ears. Something like that. Now, I like to fake ambient occlusion, so I'll just usually get green and go dark green with it, or whatever the skin tone color is. And then we'll just kind of work in some dark shadows around the eyes, under the eyebrow, making my whole desk shake. Coming in the ear. I need to put some hair in front of this ear. I think I need to pull it down further, just to make a little... Her nose looks like a pepper. Yep, I will get eyebrows on. It's just we're running out of time, so I'm just trying to rush through this a little bit. Interior of the mouth. And her neck. Hey Sean. I called you Sean. Most people call me Sean. Hey Sean, how's it going, man? That was a first. All right. Grab those eyes. Sometimes the Alt grab does not work. Let's take this to more orange. And I just kind of like to help set the eyes in by just going a darker color around the eyes like this, so they kind of have a highlight. Nice. Yeah, this is another invention. Just kind of coming up with it. Under the nose, under the... Okay, and then with the teeth, do kind of the same thing. Just start up near the mouth. It's a little too much. Maybe go a little brown with them. A little yellow. And just kind of fake ambient occlusion up in there, just so there's not a stark change of color between the skin and the tooth. It just kind of sets them in, you know. And then same with the tongue. Let me solo this tongue. Maybe go with a purple, dark. Just kind of fade it out to pink, like that. I'm just about done. I'm gonna be shutting off the stream here in a few. Getting really close. Come on, just putting some more darkness right there. Moles, gotta have moles. I'll get there. You guys and your demands. All right, I'm just gonna put some darkness down underneath. Darkness. There we go, something like that. I'm gonna put some green back in her nose. That is looking like a pepper. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Science. Right? All right, and pupils. She needs pupils. Pupils are more important than moles at this point, but we'll get there. Okay, I'm going to grab this purple color. Look how evil she is. How big of pupils? Just little? Yeah. Okay. Squished spheres is what we're getting today. You can almost hear her cackle. All right, I'm going to stream a little bit longer because I want to give her eyelashes and eyebrows. So you get an extra long streaming session today. Lucky. All right, just making, okay. Bonus stream. All right, we're gonna take these brows up like this and down like this. Let's see. What did I do that for? Okay. Mix, moon mix. Okay, here we go. Boom, eyebrows. Okay, and then we'll split unmasked points. Extra sheen tips. Okay, let's see if my uncrease works now. I doubt it. It did. Awesome. Okay, sweet. Yay for crease working. Now it's a girl. Okay, let's show this brow so we can see it. Not too bad for 2 hours, right? It's kind of dangerous doing stuff this fast because then clients go, I saw you on your stream and you did this thing in like 2 hours. Can I get a character in 2 hours? Yeah, no. 2 reasons. This is for fun and it's not paid work. So there you go. Can't do it for you in 2 hours. I'm selfish like that. Okay. Charge double. You want it fast? It's gonna cost you. Okay. Have you? Oh man, I'm sorry. Okay, this is gonna be weird, but we're gonna try it. Going weird. Okay, let's see. The weird part is this. I'm just gonna see if I can make it work. I'm going for the tri-lash. That's a thing. Tri-lash. Okay. Worked. Oh, seriously. I'm sorry you've had to deal with that. It's not fun. Okay, group split. No. Split on unmasked points. Yes. Okay. Get the old decreaser gun out. No. So, and you guys just learning, this is doing something this fast is very uncommon. So if you can't sculpt a head in 2 hours, then don't be sad. Please. Please don't be sad. This is not normal. Not typical. Okay, I do want to crease this one. This is just a challenge I put myself through to make me cry, I guess. Right, Ash? Just a personal challenge, a weekly personal challenge. Don't expect it. Okay. Ah, that works, I guess. That's going to have to be okay enough. Let's close those gaps and accentuate that brow. And I want to pull these lashes out. She looks so mad, but happy at the same time. Mad happy. Oh man. All right. Coming for you. I really want to put a collar on her because she looks naked. Naked witch. But let me do one more thing. I got to try it. I got to bring some of this orange back in her hair. It's looking too brown down in here. There we go. Then I can add toy material. Let's take it to the hard paint, go to material. I'm going to turn toy plastic on the eyes because then I'll get this highlight. See that highlight? Then fill them. Then go back to RGB, go back to Skin Shade 4. And now her eyes have double highlights. Okay, then one more quick thing. I just wanted to try was to kind of go yellow with the highlights in some areas. I don't know if that'll work. We'll see. Like on her chin. That makes her look like a watermelon. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't know. I don't know. Green is hard, people. Green's a difficult color. Lighter green. Maybe a lighter green. There we go. That's better. She was just looking so dark, you know? Dark. Why do you gotta be so dark? That's better. All right, guys. I think that's gonna do it for today. What's going on with her eyelids? She's got double eyelids. Why is there double eyelids? Am I seeing double? What's this? Oh, there's still some stuck to her head. Okay, look at that. All right, that's better. Holy cow. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's better. Gosh, I was like, why is she? Yep, missing teeth. She eats a lot of corn. Eats a lot of corn. All right, guys, I think that's it. We got it. Another stream accomplished. Another fun turn on perspective. She's flying like crazy. There we go. Maybe this angle. Thanks, you guys. Whew. All right. Enjoy your week, guys. Thanks for watching me. I'll be here again next week. I may or may not do one more Halloween because we have one more day, one more Monday before Halloween. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. I think we got, whoa, looks like we have 220 people watching right now. That's amazing. Thanks so much, you guys. Thanks for dropping by, Ashley. Catch Ashley when she gets streaming again. When is it? When do you stream again? And if you want my free brushes, my user interface, and my ruler, go check out 3dcharacterworkshop.com. I give them away for free over there. And I also teach an online course. I teach how to do this kind of stuff. It's also over at 3D Character Workshop. You can just click on the link and check it out. And yep, I'll be streaming again. And if you want to watch this back, you can catch it on ZBrushLIVE, their YouTube channel. All of my past streams are up there. All of Ashley's past streams are up there. You can go check them out. And so it looks like Ashley streams Wednesdays at 5 o'clock Pacific. So be sure to check her out. And thank you so much. Thanks, Pixologic, for having me. And have a great rest of your week. And if I don't see you, have a great Halloween. Take care, guys. See ya. Gotta find the button now. All right.